I wanted to bring everyone up to date with the national fight back against the new coronavirus and the decisions that we've just taken in COBRA for the whole of the UK. Today, we need to go further. That means that if possible, you should not go out even to buy food or essentials other than for exercise, and in that case, at a safe distance from others. Now is the time for everyone to stop non-essential contact with others and to stop all unnecessary travel. And you should avoid pubs, clubs, theatres and other such social venues.
I remember it well. We were doing a warm-up. We were preparing to do a show. I remember doing some jumping jacks and being like, this isn't going to happen. Not at all. The curtain's not going to go up. We had it. Saturday, done, over.
I remember 16th of March very well. We were actually at the theatre all day because we had a new cast member who was supposed to be opening in the show that night. So we were actually doing a dress rehearsal that afternoon. So we were all there together. We did the dress run. Then we went and had a little break for lunch. And then we came back to the theatre for like parish notices at 6:15, 6:30. And that's when we got told that it was closing.
We were in sort of this theatre bubble and the world outside was kind of falling apart. We did the SITS probe, you know, what should have sort of been a really joyous moment. We finished it and then we got the news that that's it, we were stopping. So we had done sort of 6 weeks of rehearsals for a show that we basically had no idea whether it would happen.
It's interesting actually because I actually prematurely, we actually decided to close the theatre on the 14th. So actually on the 16th, we were 2 days earlier than everybody else when I decided to close my theatre, the Turbine Theatre. We just took the call as a venue at that point to be as responsible as we could be and decided actually that we shouldn't proceed.
I was on the group chat of the show and everyone was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Let's go to the Nell because it's going to be 2 weeks. Let's have a little break. And that was kind of it. So at the time it was like, okay, this is a bit serious. But you know what, it's a resting time. Everyone was treating it as like, okay, rest, go back. And yeah, I don't think anyone kind of anticipated how ridiculous and long this would all be.
Every day at 4 or 5 o'clock, you'd turn on the news to watch the news conferences that were on every day. And it was really taking it day by day and then week by week. And then even in the first couple of weeks, we were like, we'll be back in a month. And then it was like, oh no, maybe it's going to be 3 months. And then I remember at the time, eventually, the rumours were it might be August, September. And at the time, all of us thinking, August, September? That's ages away.
We saw this coming. We have to do this. So it's like, it's that or everyone dies. So,
We in the theatre industry, we move at such speed. We're always going really fast. We're kind of chasing our tail all the time, and I love that. And I guess that's one of the reasons that I got involved in theatre.
We're always sort of hustling or getting out there and trying to do something, and all of a sudden I felt, just actually, there's no point. Just calm. Just take a breath, take a moment. This will blow over quickly. 3 months.
The first thought I had was that it was my birthday in a few weeks and I had tickets to the Olivier's and then I couldn't go, so I was really disappointed about that.
The first thought I had was just what am I going to do for uni, because I was kind of on a gap year at the time, so I was like, well, now what? Because I hadn't auditioned anywhere and I was just kind of like oh, can I audition? I didn't even know if it was going to be possible. So I was just a bit like, what do I do? I was sat there like, I'm at home, going to turn 20 soon. What do I do?
I think what's kind of been annoying for us is that there's been sort of a conversation there. It's sort of someone's making the guidelines, but there's never been someone going, but this is what we need so that the guidelines work. Because if you release a set of guidelines that say actors can only stand 2 meters apart on stage, well, no show is going to open because that's not how shows work.
Just a real lack of understanding. I seem to remember around the summertime, I think it was Oliver Dowden, so one of them, just said, oh, well, we can get pantos on this Christmas. And you think, well, it's a bit late now. This takes months of planning, but thanks for listening. Thanks for trying, I mean, there's plenty of advisors, there's plenty of people they could have gone to say, oh, theatre, how does it work? That's all I had to say. But most performers, I feel, have pulled together and are willing to call out issues that they wouldn't necessarily have done in the past, and be more vocal on being treated in a certain way.
But you do get the feeling as you're going through school that people see the theatre industry or the entertainment industry as perhaps a world where it isn't taken seriously. And for the first couple of months, our viability was questioned. And that's really, really hard when you've kind of got to a point in your career where you are really happy and content and making a living and working and doing good stuff and stuff that fulfills you, to then be told that it's not important.
The interesting thing is that, you know, on one hand, you've got a government that, you know, will cut the budgets of the arts. But whenever it comes to celebrating our country, the arts is thrown to the front. You know, if all you have to think about is something like the Olympic ceremony, all the people in our industry created that. And we're used as a sort of shining beacon as, look, this is the United Kingdom.
Theatre is a business. That's the hard thing that I think has been hard for us all to get the people that matters head around. It is a business in the same way that Tesco is a business, you know.
There was no support for self-employed people, which, you know, all the people who work on the technical side of theatre are all employed by the shows. They're all PAYE, so they were covered by the furlough scheme. Whereas for us, it sort of became this, you know, as everything was getting worse, it was sort of, we had this kind of a feeling going, well, this is getting worse for us as well, because I might not have the virus, but my industry is shut down. And, you know, that's the thing about entertainment. It's the first to be shut down and the last thing to open. By this point, it'd been, you know, 6 weeks without pay, because, you know, the shows themselves that people on couldn't afford to pay people out of their pocket. We just got talking about how, you know, was there a way to raise money? Lots of our friends were, you know, wardrobe mistresses were making scrubs and masks, and, you know, people were sort of trying to lend their skills in whichever way they could, I think to help, but also I think to keep themselves busy. And so we just got onto the idea of maybe we could make a t-shirt. Maybe we could make a t-shirt to raise some money. And we kind of settled on the phrase, the show must go on, because it's a sort of phrase that is sort of embedded in our industry. You know, it's that idea that no matter how tough it gets, we'll get through it. And then, yeah, we put them on sale, and it went mad. We initially bought 600 t-shirts, and we thought that'll be it. If we manage to sell these, we'll be laughing. Like, we'll be really, like, that will have been an achievement. And then on the first day we took something like 2,500 orders, and we had to bump it up to 6,000 t-shirts. And then now we've sold something like 55,000 t-shirts. And, you know, if every bit of merchandise, we've stuck the show must go on it, and we've sold, you know, lots of them. But we have raised lots of money for the theatre industry, for sort of the theatre community. So, you know, it came from a place where there wasn't any support. And luckily now we're in a position where we're able to sort of supplement the support that there is.
And what's incredible is just seeing, you know, I've always known that theatre creatures are some of the most resilient people in the world. But seeing actors hustle, seeing, you know, directors hustle, because they've had to, and they've had to become delivery drivers, or they've had to take stuff online, or develop jewellery companies, or it's been amazing. And we've always known that. But I think, you know, it is to be applauded because, and hopefully, again, going back to trying to find a light in the last year, they will continue.
I've been really like creative and like dexterous, I guess. My dad was like, have you ever thought about making jewellery? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you want to? I was like, yeah. And so I did. I'm looking to now work with like a factory, so I can just design things, and then I can obviously expand my business.
The financial hit I found harder to deal with than not being able to go anywhere or do anything. I moved out of my flat. You know, my contract was up in July, so I managed to kind of get through till July. Then I moved out, and for the first time in 16 years, I moved back to my parents for a couple of months, and then I was kind of sofa surfing for a bit. So yeah, it's been a big life change, and you just have to adapt.
Whatever comes will, and I'll be happy with that, or I won't be, and then I'll just have to, you know, either find happiness in a different avenue to like subsidize that if I'm not able to work as much, or not, and it'll be great.
But I feel like what I've struggled with is like, I mean, I love a lot of things. I did media at A level, so I love like the kind of filming of things and like all that sort of stuff. I love music. I love so many things, and I was like, great, all creative, which is probably a problem, but I didn't think of that. Anyway, so in my head I was like, okay, like looking online, oh, there's this career I could go into. There's this, but then there's always that thing, because at the time it was like September, and I'm like, oh, that's 3 months away, so I can't commit to something if I'm gonna have to leave. So I feel like that's kind of the thing that was like, you know, like you have to think, oh, but we're kind of scheduled to come back, so I can't do that, so I'm gonna have to get like a supermarket job or something like that that's a bit more flexible, and if you do need to, you can be like, great, I can leave, and that's it, done. But then I can remember it was December, and I was like looking at all of these internships and stuff, and I got really a bit down about it, because I was like, oh my God, I should have literally in March went, you know what, I'm gonna do this for a year, because when you look back at it, it's been over a year, and I could have had that experience in something else that I loved and a different career path altogether. But then at the same time, I've had opportunities that have came out literally in the last 2 months when things have been open again, that have kind of given me another career opportunity, but I haven't had to commit to. So it's all worked out in the end, but there's been so many times I've been like, shall I just pack it in and do something else?
Pretty ladies, but not like you, you shine so bright. Yeah.
A friend of mine called me, musical director James Hall, who I work with. He called me and said, I just need to play for someone, so can we do an online concert? And I said, yeah, why not? Didn't really think anything of it. It started off just me and him in the garden, in my garden, socially distanced, of course, just doing a little concert to take tips, and we did that, and that was good. It was just good to do something. Off the back of that, someone called up and said, oh, I just watched your concert online, will you come and do a gig for us in our garden? A week later, I got a phone call from someone at Centrepoint, said, I've seen your concert online, and would you be able to deliver this up in town? So if there's a need for the online shows, we'll do them. But really, we're about live. We're about being live, being there. You know, that's really what it's about. It's about experiencing it, and experiencing some amazing performers that you not necessarily heard of, because we were funded by Centrepoint, because they put the funding forward for it as an idea to drag people into London, to get people up, because actually a lot of people, that was all very well these theatres opening, but actually the confidence of people coming into London, because certainly when I spoke to people, I said, oh, come up and see my show, or I don't know, I've not been on a train yet. So it was so outward looking of them to say, no, well, let's get people into London, let's get people watching these performers, because actually we're not doing the performers a favour. The performers are a key part of London. Musical theatre, West End theatre is a key part of it, and they're not just there because you know we want to give them some money to pay them to do these jobs. No, we're there because we relish, we appreciate them, we love them. They're part of the scene, and we need to get the scene going again.
So it is good news that there's a little buzz from Shaftesbury Avenue here this evening, because Six the Musical is coming to the Lyric Theatre, and it's got some really dedicated fans. They've been showing up all day to take their pictures next to the posters here, because maybe, just maybe, it's enough for one brave theatre company to put on a show to help those working in the industry and those who rely on it being here.
There was a 2-week period in December particularly where it felt like things were really opening up, and you know, I did a solo show. We started back at rehearsals. We opened for 4 shows, and then it was closed for Christmas. That was the hardest time for me, and I think for a lot of people, that third lockdown, because as it had been for the whole of 2020, you know, the government gave no notice for anything. It was literally, right, 2 days, lockdown.
Like I said, I'm at the point now where there's been so much like September, oh no, December, oh no. Like, I feel like at this point, like, a lot of people are very hopeful, and I am hopeful, and I'm like absolutely like can't wait. But at the same time, there's like a little bit in my brain at the back that's like, don't get excited until you are literally in that rehearsal room in a tech.
During the second lockdown, I think it was, when we were all sent home over December, they tried so hard to try and keep us all engaged. They did as much as they could to adapt our modules into the screen, but a lot of it you just can't really do. A lot of it, there's no point in doing it either if you're not going to be in the room and getting what you would have done. I think for me, trying to adapt to online classes was harder than some other people, maybe, because my younger sister does ballet as well, so all her ballet went online. And then it was like, okay, who gets the kitchen space now? So she'd be doing ballet in the back of my online HIIT classes, and I was like, I'm doing press-ups and she's there doing all these turns and like chair work, and I'm like, is she allowed to be in the back of my thing? I don't know. We had to do animal studies, so I had to sit and be a toad on Zoom for like 50 minutes, and like I had to sit and be like this frog, and like your family are just walking up and down. It's like, well, I can't, if not the most serious, but it's still part of it.
I was a sloth.
And it's not that you didn't want to do it either, because obviously we auditioned and we've tried so hard to get where we are. But when everything around you was sort of collapsing, I think for us, we found it quite hard just to keep going, like mentally.
You know, important conversations have started to happen over this past year and a half. That doesn't mean that change will definitely come. I think it's going to be harder for the bigger institutions to embrace it, but they are the ones who commercially are at the forefront. So actually that's where it needs to happen, that sometimes the industry forgets that diversity and representation doesn't mean black and white. There's 50 shades of brown in between that get forgotten. And that's what we need to be working on.
In the time that we've paused, there's been lots of movements, and there's been lots of, you know, Black Lives Matter was a huge and is a huge thing. And, you know, I think that's been a good moment for our industry to sort of go, we need to recognise this and we need to deal with this. And, you know, I think it gives, you know, a further push to things like colourblind casting and, you know, and gender blind casting and all of that kind of thing. I think that's, you know, that's a good moment that our industry will sort of change as it goes forwards.
So much has happened politically, socially, in terms of Black Lives Matter, in terms of gender balance, in terms of LGBTQ plus rights. And I think it's really, really important. You know, it's so interesting that it all happened at the same time, and it kind of forced everybody to stop and take stock of decisions that were being made and processes that were in place. And I hope, and myself included in this, that we have learned from that, and that we are now on a journey where we continue to be open and continuing to learn about how we make work. And I find it fascinating that it took almost in some ways took a pandemic for us to realise some of these things.
Just do better and like it will thrive.
I think there will also be a lot more emphasis on the people who create the theatre environment. So I hope, I mean, I certainly feel it will be initially, and I hope it carries on, that there is a big shift towards who did the sound, who did the lighting, who's stage manager, who moved that set there, who are the ushers, who are the front of house staff. I hope that there is a lot more understanding, because actually it's affected all of them, not just the performers. It's affected everyone that works in that theatre.
I think if you look throughout history, you know, art reflects the world that we're in, always. and it feeds us depending on what is necessary for the community at the time. So, for example, if you look at the trends that happened on Broadway after something like 9/11, after 9/11, the big hit show was The Producers. And do you remember it won something like 11 or 12 Tonys, and it was this big comedic musical where people could go and just have escapism, because that is what New York needed and wanted. Art is important in its own way. We're not key workers, but we are in a very different way. And I think now is going to be our time to strive and for us to be feeding other people.
It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. As you're not a doctor. You're not saving someone's life. No, you're not. You're not doing that. But what you are doing is providing much needed light relief. It's actually up to us smaller individuals to carry the can and say, no, we can still entertain people. It won't be the same, and it won't have all the big money and all the trimmings and everything. But actually, we have a sense of responsibility to know, let's get out there, let's entertain these people, and let's have a bloody good time. And then people will have a good time by watching us having a good time.
I think the future's looking great. I feel like there's a mass amount of people excited and everyone wants to go back to it because, like, it's a massive part of escapism, whether you're performing in it or whether you're watching it or whether you just love it. There's so much escapism in there. And I feel like because of the year we've had, people are just dying to have that live escapism rather than watching your 400th Netflix series of the fucking year. Some people might be a bit wary about coming back with the whole, like you get a lot of people where they're like, oh, masks, or oh, I need to have a COVID test, which in my head, I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? Of course you would want to come back and see things, but maybe that would take a bit of time. And obviously as well with tourism, a lot of shows rely on tourism, like a lot. So waiting for that kind of flood to come back in will absolutely help it. But I do think the future, everyone's absolutely gagging to get back.
I think we've all adapted to not having it. That I'm like, oh, like, I could go and see it. I used to see multiple shows a week, and now I'm like, well, I've got something booked for August. But I think as the hype slowly starts coming back with all these new things and like new reviews, and everyone's going to be like, oh, I just saw this, I just saw this, I just saw this. I think it's going to like snap back. I still love it.
In terms of the future of musical theatre and theatre as a whole, I think it's quite bright, personally. I think the future's quite bright.
Especially because social media has been a massive thing, and it really has, for all great reasons, also some terrifying reasons, but it's been so big, and I feel like that's really joined people together. Even like on my half, I've met people that I didn't even, like, I couldn't even tell you their names of before. And I feel like because of that, the theatre industry is like, we've got such like a bond and a family, like online and off, because now people are like helping out with like concerts, bits here, bits there. Like we're just raring to go back. And I feel like that's stronger than ever than before, where people might have, like, I know a lot of like in general, like would be like, oh, like I've got work today, or like things like that. Whereas now it's like, I love this. If I have to have a second job to get me through, that's it. This is what I'm passionate about. And literally, like, we're going to come back stronger than ever and love it.
I think what's going to be really interesting is the time that people have had to just pause. I think we're going to have some really great work from it. I think it will have given people time to finally work on that project that they have had in the pipeline for ages. And I think so much great work is going to come from this. So I think even though we might be stalled at the moment, I think the future has there's a brightness there.
Everyone's going to be so desperate to get back to theatre. I think it's actually, for us, going to be really good, because we're both in our first year at the moment. So we're going to come out of uni, hopefully, fingers crossed, when the theatre industry has come back to life. And I think it's going to be bigger than better than ever.
It will slowly work its way back up, but also because of all the pushbacks of the opening dates, I think everyone is just going to be even more anticipated. So hopefully it'll be like bang.
I think this past year and a half has really afforded people the time to reassess their lives, and for some of my friends, it has made them change their lives, because they now either want more financial stability, or they want to spend more time with their family, or for whatever reasons, and I completely understand that. for me, it's only solidified that I don't want to do anything else.
I think that is, you know, one of the amazing factors about our industry, is that it is probably filled with the most resilient people. You know, the sort of theatre industry as itself, you know, over the last sort of 20 years has faced continuous budget cuts, and it's, you know, it's faced, you know, sort of all of those things, and we've still come out stronger. We have had to be resilient. We've had to be resilient in the past, and we'll continue being in the future, because people in the UK don't do theatre for money. We do it because we love it, and I think that's the most important thing.
I've always known that I've wanted to do this. You know, when the music is like so loud and you're like in the music, like you are it. And you know those shows that you just, there's those bits in the writing that just have such satisfying a little riff, or a little thing that you get to sing, or a little bit of dance that just goes perfectly to it. When I danced the other day, like, I will get emotional about it, because I'm like, yeah, like, it's the only thing that makes me like feel from my chest. When you feel something from here or even here, like, you just know, like, and I can be as nervous as I am, like I said, like leading up to it, but the second I'm in that moment, that's where my purpose is.